Guten Tag from beautiful Vienna, and we're already seeing gorgeous architecture here in this capital of Austria. I just came from Bratislava today. It was only an hour and 17-minute bus ride away from straight in the Old Town Center. My Airbnb was actually located right by where I started live videos in Bratislava in Slovakia, and I loved Slovakia. It was amazing. But Vienna is right next door. It's actually the closest European capitals in all of Europe. You'd be hard-pressed to find anything closer than Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, and Vienna, the capital of Austria. But today we're going to wander around Vienna for the very first time. I've never been to this city, but I've heard so much about it. I've seen movies that take place here, like Before Sunrise, and I've always dreamed about coming here. First, I've dreamed about going to the cafes, and luckily I already did that. I rushed to the cafe. I arrived here about 10:30 a.m. and I rushed directly to the Cafe Central, which is one of the more popular cafes because it's known to get really, really packed. And it was by the time I got out. Luckily I had no line. I managed to enjoy the cafe. But now I am so eager to walk around. But where am I right now? Well, before I actually get to walking, I'm actually right by one of the better known specialty cafes here, Jonas Rendel, pardon my Austrian. And I am having an iced Americano at the moment to try how does specialty coffee compare to the traditional cafes of Vienna, which I just came from one of them in a live stream. Check that one out after this live stream. And then we're gonna go for a nice stroll. Highly caffeinated, like many great legends have done so before here in Vienna. And also people who are rather infamous. I'd rather not mention the infamous ones, but I'll mention the great ones, like Sigmund Freud. So cheers. Or let me know how to say cheers again in Austrian. This is a great Americano. Oh, I like it. It's a bit fruity, a little bit vivid. It's brighter. Definitely, I think a better coffee than I had in Cafe Central. This is a great Americano. You could order a single shot Americano here, which is not normal in the US. In the US, it's a bit harder to order just a single shot. Oh, that's so great. Oh, I love that. So, let me know if you've been to Vienna before. Let me know if you have any recommendations of where to go in Vienna. But let's just wander around. That's one of my favorite things to do in any major city. Let's go. Wendy asks, is it nutty? No, it was brighter, more citrusy. Yeah, brighter, more citrusy. This is Jonas Rendel. All right, let's get on with the show. Let's have a before sunrise moment, shall we? Just I'm Ethan Hawke, and all of you are Julie Delpy. This is the official before sunrise broadcast. Just pretend that you met me on the train. You didn't pretend you haven't seen my live streams for years. Some of you for 7 years already. Pretending that it hasn't happened. Pretend you just randomly met me on the train. And I wasn't on the train, I was technically on the bus. So pretend you met me on the bus from Bratislava. You sat next to me. And I just started chatting you up. And said, hey, I know you're gonna go further than Vienna, but how about we explore together? And you, as Julie Delpy's character, said yes. This is that live stream. So we're gonna have a very deep talk about life, love, the universe, and everything else as we explore Vienna. And look at this gorgeous church. So I haven't had the chance to really deeply study Vienna, nor its history, nor its landmarks. And I don't know many of the landmarks by name. So as we're walking around, if anyone really knows Vienna or has been here or is a Austrian urbanist tuning in, Do let us know what we're looking at. I'll do my best to find the names. I think cheers is Prost, says Christine. Oh, thank you so much. I've just been saying Guten Tag. I'm not sure Guten Tag is common in Austrian. Isn't Austrian very similar to German, or is it basically the same language? Let me know. Yeah, I'm very curious. But I've heard a lot of English in the cafe here. They immediately spoke to me in English. At the Cafe Central earlier, he started speaking to me in Austrian, but quickly we switched to English. No worries. Oscar Reyes says this is St. Stephen's Cathedral. Ooh, wow. Leela says, is this the church from the Sound of Music? I don't know. I've never seen the Sound of Music in its entirety. And I should, because it has a great soundtrack, great music. Oscar says I should go to Budapest. Oscar, yeah, why you think so? Let me know. Nebul, welcome from the south of France. Nice to see you, Nebul. Let's check out this church and then go back into the main center of the city. So we are in the 5th largest city of the European Union. Well, a little bit more than 2 million residents, and in the metro area it's a bit more, it's about 2.4 million. It's a huge city. It has been historically a huge city for a long time, all the way back to the late 1800s. It was already at 1.7 million. So just walking here, you can sense that this is a grand city of Europe, on the ranks of London, Paris, and Rome. London, let me know what's London's nickname. Jolly old London is one way people describe London. We have Paris as the city of lights. Rome is the eternal city. Athens is also known as the eternal city. But here, this is known as the city of music, because some of the greatest classical musicians who have ever composed have either lived here, performed here, or made most of their music here. The likes of Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, and let me know other names that you can think of from Viennese music scene. Ooh, there's a big bus tour here. I'm tempted to take the big bus tour. Let me know if I should. We'll see where it goes. Nicholas says, why so many graffiti? I don't see too much graffiti walking around. Isabel says Salieri. Of course, we cannot forget about Salieri, who I've listened to and I love. As we saw in the movie, Salieri was super jealous of Mozart, but he shouldn't be. And here we have a map of where the bus tour goes through. So the bus tour doesn't go through the middle of the city. And that's because the middle of the city is largely car-free. Short Clip says Bach is not Viennese, but he was here. Not sure when, but he definitely was here. Not all the classical musicians who were here were Viennese, but they did come here to Vienna. It's like being a modern musician in the past 100 years. At some point, many of the top pop stars and rock stars have played in Madison Square Garden in New York. That was the same thing, the same case for the classical musicians a few hundred years ago. Wow, look at that. Isabel says, the movie changed my life, Amadeus. Oh, really? It did? Oh, yeah, I love it. I saw it in the small theater in Forest Hills. Oh, I missed that old small theater in Forest Hills. All right, let's walk inside. Michelle says, thank you so much for the lives. My pleasure, Michelle. My deepest pleasure. I'm switching off to my glasses so I can see the inside of the church. Nina says, how can a movie change your life? Well, it has happened to me. A few movies have changed my life, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone else says a movie changed their life. Amadeus is a great movie. I think the movie deals with a lot of feelings of desire and jealousy and pressure. There's a lot of great themes in there that a lot of people go through. Okay. Look at the beautiful stained glass. Bob leaves a 28-pound super chat. Says, when you were at Rush next to the bar. Thank you so much, Bob. I'll definitely put that to use later today. that was breathtaking. So it seems like it was built between 1856 and 1879. Voltivief Kirk. Beautiful. Thomas, nice to see you here. Welcome. All right, let's go this way. This building looks interesting. It's a gorgeous city. Wow, no wonder it's so famous. So clean too. Look at this. Lori says those windows were beautiful. Yeah, stunning. Hello, Owen. Hello, Miss Lob. Thomas says, wait till you go to Schönbrunn Palace. Schönbrunn Palace. Interesting. Okay. Thank you so much, Thomas. Hello, Owen. Hello, Miss Lob. I am indeed in Vienna. Wine, as they say. What year was the church built? Around 1879 is when it opened. Seems like it. Isabel says, always like watching Ariel light candles in churches around the world. Maybe a compilation short video. Oh yeah, that would be great. How could stained glass not get damaged during World War II, says Nina. Vienna was indeed bombed during World War II, suffered greatly. Some of the buildings that we're walking around are reconstructions of buildings that stood before World War II, got destroyed during World War II, and then were rebuilt. I'm not sure how many of them, but at least a portion of them as we're walking around. And I assume some buildings were repaired and needed repairs after something. Someone saying hi, maybe it's a viewer. Hey, shout out to the viewer saying hello. They were repaired due to bombing, so keep that in mind as we're walking around. C says it was completed in 1578. Okay, let's see. Is it that long ago? Tamo says, be sure to visit the museum which hosts the Bruegel paintings. I heard about them, yeah. I'm very tempted to visit that. I don't think I'll have time for museums. This is only a day trip for me. I'm already heading to a new city in the afternoon. And I wish I could stay here longer, but it's only a day trip. Right now, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm on a 2-week road trip. We're about a week and a half in already, so I only have a few more days. March 3rd is the last day of the road trip. And we started in London, made our way through Belgium, past a tiny sliver of beautiful Netherlands, and then made our way over to Germany, to Berlin, then continued off into Poland, which was really interesting and mind-blowing. Slovakia, which is a beautiful, underrated country in terms of tourism. Highly recommend going there. And now I made my way to Vienna. I'm slightly separated from Evan and our other friend who's joining us on the road trip, because I decided to come to Vienna while Evan and our friend is going deeper into Slovakia, and I'll be meeting them in a different city later tonight. I'm taking the train to get there, and then we'll continue off with the road trip. So here are the tram lines. I love how skinny these trams are. And they're very small, so I think that's why they pass by so frequently. Great example of tram transportation here in Vienna. Susie says it's been a trip. Hey Susie, I'm so happy you're enjoying this trip. Let me know, are you enjoying this road trip? Everyone else tuning in? Wendy says, thank you so much for showing this. My pleasure, Wendy. Thank you everyone so much for providing more information in the comments. I appreciate that. Marianne rejoined as a mega patron. Yeah, you know, stay tuned. I'm doing my best to collect postcards. I haven't been able to collect postcards from all the destinations because we've been on the move. But today I'm determined to get Vienna postcards. And I think I'll be able to get postcards from our next destination as well. And if you are a mega urbanist, I might not be able to send them right now, February, because tomorrow's the last day of February. And many of the countries I visited, I couldn't buy stamps at souvenir shops. That means I would have to go to a post office, which is rather tedious since we have so limited time. And crossing fingers, either this destination or the next city has stamps in the souvenir store. Otherwise, I gotta send it to you from New York when I get back. But stay tuned, you'll be getting postcards for the Mega Urbanist. Contribute $20 or more on patreon.com/urbanist. Really enjoy this road trip, says Kay. Getting a snapshot of different places that you can go back to at a later date. Yes, that's very true. I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Kay. It's great to get like a fast-paced snippet of each city and country, so I know where to go next time and spend way more time in. Wendy's asking for a Vienna postcard. Thank you, Wendy, for letting me know. Marianne says same thing. Gary says, hello from Lauterbuden, Switzerland. Do you have it in your future plans? Switzerland, I would love to go to Switzerland. I would need a higher budget Switzerland. Switzerland is very expensive. For food, for lodging, for trains. I heard that Switzerland is crazy expensive, so I'm going to need way more budget for it. And I hope I have the budget to go to Switzerland, because it would be an immense pleasure. Wendy, we are in Vienna. Let's check out this building. Susie says, be crafty and make your own postcards. I could do that too. Nina says, buy some chocolate. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if Austrians are specifically known for their chocolate, unlike the Belgians or the Swiss, but I'm sure there's great chocolate here, but I think they're more known for their cakes and their pastries. And I already had 2, and I probably will have 3 at some point on this journey. Susie says, soon Brooklyn and Queens will have trams after I die. Yes, New York City is just taking an obscenely long time to build a tram, and they are spending way too much money, billions and billions of dollars to build a tram. And it's insane. Trams don't need to cost that expensive. I'm sure Vienna has spent a fraction of that, and they built it probably faster than what we're doing in New York City. 20 years for a tram? That's too long. It's too long. No need to take that long. Isabel says, try marzipan. Susie says, try Vienna fingers. Yeah, oh, indeed, yeah. Hope you get to the amusement park, says Malcare. I don't think I will this time around. Let me know, is there a famous amusement park? All right, so this is a beautiful building, but I'm gonna go now into the center of the city in order to see the beautiful streets in the middle of the city. Wow. This is how every city should look like. Hey, Gary says, when I visited there in 2003, it was a crazy expensive, but worth it. It was my favorite place I visited in mainland Europe. Oh, cool. Malcare says, try drinking the water from public fountains. Unbelievably tasty water. Ah, cool. All right, good to know. Trams were at the beginning of time. They should know what to do, yes. Yeah. I come here to many of these European cities and look upon the trams with jealousy. As in New York, we should have this. But as we say in New York, this could be us, but you playing. Look how efficient this is. Just step in. The step is not that high. There's barely accidents because the trams go at a reasonable pace. It's not a gigantic Hummer that's rolling down Manhattan, or those big bulky buses that we have in Manhattan. They're fairly quiet, way quieter than your typical bus or subway. And here it appears to connect. Wow, look at that. Potato wedges. So some potato wedges were being sold right there. Tintin says, this is one of my bucket list areas. Hey, Thomas, thank you so much for the recommendation. I won't have time to visit museums, but thank you so much for the recommendation for the super chat. Hopefully I can walk outside, from the outside to a few museums, so stay tuned. I gotta clean my lens. Alright, there we go. Raphael says, are you going to the Imperial Palace, Hofburg, Schönborn, Wiener, Reichenrad? Pardon my Austrian. I am wandering around, so hopefully I'll bump into those places. I don't have myself oriented on this live stream. I think it's worth wandering around. You can later on watch a lot of live videos where they show those main locations, or maybe when I come back to Vienna at some point in the future, I'll be able to show these locations a bit more calmly and have a little bit more of a plan. But I do recommend wandering around because magical stuff happens. You'll end up seeing sometimes landmarks that you did not plan on seeing but are beautiful, or churches like these ones. It's worth wandering around, and I think it makes for a great live video as well. And usually I found out, especially in cities like this, if you wander around long enough, like 2 hours or so, you'll end up bumping into a lot of the major sites anyway. So I don't know if we're gonna see those sites, but I'm sure we'll see a few of them, for sure. Wendy says, how long in Vienna? Only today. I'm off tonight to a new city to reunite with Evan and our other friend in a different city. And then we're continuing with our road trip. Owen says, very nice stream. Take the big bus and you'll have a general view of Vienna. Yes, we will. Oh my God, look at that building in the distance. What is that? Wow. Oh, that's not the church I just came from. Building. Wow. Let me know what building this is. Oh my God, so grand. So usually the big bus is great. But in this case, it doesn't go through the middle of the city where there's a lot more sights to see. So that's the downside of a city with a very dense old town in the middle, is that you usually can't take a big bus tour through it. That's been the case with a few other places we visited. Miss Lob says, wow, Paris, eat your heart out. Yes. This is stunning. Paris is gorgeous, but this is a work of art of a city. Right here. Wow. I mean, look at that. Look at this buildings right over here. Wow. And all these buildings are pretty tall for the 1800s. So we have 1 story on the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around 6 stories, and there's a lower story as well. So about 7-story tall buildings. Cuckoo, Paris is super dirty. Depends on the area of Paris, but yes, some areas of Paris can get rather dirty. This is way cleaner than Paris, for sure, at the moment. I don't know about the rest of Vienna, because Vienna is a bigger city, but this is clean right here in the center. Ooh. So that's where we started, where the camera's pointing right now. Wow. Wendy says, I'm booking to go. Oh, that's cool. Good news, Wendy. Do enjoy. Guten Tag. It's good. Okay. I'll try one of those. Yeah, that one. Yeah. How much can I choose? 1 or 2? I'll just get the potatoes. Yeah. No, for here. Thank you so much. Did I pay over here? And a receipt as well. Receipt. Thank you so much. Alright, so I just randomly went into one of these kind of delis. They have a lot of fish, a lot of cold cuts, a lot of varieties. Looks like a trattoria, similar in France as well. And I got myself $7.90, almost 8 euro for the stew with some potatoes. And wow, it looks really good. That is awesome. Carlos says, I love your live videos and documentaries. Hey man, thank you so much for tuning in. The Athens Urbanist is coming out soon, March 7th. But let's try this out first, and then we'll continue on walking. So $8, €8 for a lunch like this is a good deal, compared to New York at least. I think this might be liver. I'm not the biggest fan of liver, but it is well made, and the broth is great. The potatoes are super soft. Wow. That's amazing. This is making wow, that's great. This is making a part of a meat that I usually wouldn't eat, liver, really good and tasty. I really wouldn't have liver, but it tastes really good. So soft, these potatoes. Oh my. It's like super soft potatoes. Wow. Very creamy. I'm blown away. This is great. So a lot of people are telling me this is liverwurst. This is the first time I ever had it. I've tried liver in Puerto Rico. We have a different type of stew of liver in Puerto Rico. I don't like it because it has a very strong livery taste. But here, this, whatever this goopy broth is, look how goopy this is. This looks like a cave system, or it looks like a cave system, like a stalactite. Here, look at it. Oh. Very tender. Very the meat is very soft but tender. So I have no idea what I'm eating right now, but if anyone knows the name, do let me know. Hey, Wendy says I'm eating too because of the food I'm featuring. I like liver, but depends how it's prepared. It's nice and soft. Good preparation. But yeah, really, really good. I like it. Someone's sitting next to me. Probably not gonna eat the entire thing. Oh my god, what this woman got is amazing. Wow. Alright, so I'm probably gonna have a few more bites and now I'm off. Right here. Really recommend it. That's really great. I want to save space for more food. I would eat this entirely, but I gotta save space because I want to try more pastries and Wiener Schnitzel soon. sorry. Okay, the name of this place appears to be Radats. Radats? That was great. Oh, highly recommend it. So it seems like a woman just sat without asking. Let me know if that's a typical Viennese culture. It's not normal in the US. The US people would ask before sitting down. I didn't mind at all, but I just found it very amusing. Ugh. There was a beautiful bakery right there, but the bakery, for some reason, it was a lot of concrete and a lot of metal. So service just died in there. I wish I could have showed it to you. Otherwise, if I waited in line, the live stream might have crashed. So let's find another great pastry. These buildings are stunning and so well maintained. Like compared to Paris, these walls look like new. It looks like if they built them just like 10 years ago. But no, these at least are about 90 years ago, or a little bit more, at least 70 years ago. But most likely many of these buildings go back even further, 120 years ago or so. Almost says, does Vienna have any shabby parts? I don't know yet. I will be curious. I assume so. City of 2 million plus has to have more shabby parts. We just haven't seen them yet. But you know, if you compare apples to apples, compare the center of Vienna to the center of New York City, this is stunningly clean compared to New York City, or compared to Paris, or even compared to London. Stunning. Or compared to Rome. So for a big city with a lot of this very old architecture, it's just amazing. Truly. You know, Stockholm was also sparkling clean, but Stockholm is much smaller than this. Also like a Helsinki as well. Nina says no homeless. I've seen very, very few. Very few. Almost none. Wow. Oh, look, a little cocktail bar. That's charming. The little outdoor seating. Hey, with Jupiter in mind says, in your recent travels, what was the city or town that gave you a feeling of, I could spend a few months here without feeling bored? In all my travels, I definitely have an answer for that. In my road trip so far, only London, where I started, I wouldn't really spend months in Brussels or Poland. I assume it would be pleasant, but I definitely wouldn't be that deeply entertained for many months. I think maybe for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month. Otherwise, in my entire travels, Rome, London, Paris, Edinburgh, I think I would really love it to stay there for a long time. Wow. Oh my God, here's one of the famous classic cafes. Cafe Landmann. Oh my God, what is this? Is this a real place? Nina says you're probably going to buy property in Greece. Yes, Athens is another city that I would spend many months in. I already did, in essence. I already spent a month in Athens, but I can spend more. I necessarily won't have that much to do. Athens does not have that many landmarks or neighborhoods that are unique. But Athens is such a pleasure to be in. Look at this gorgeous cafe. Oh my God. So this is one of the historical cafes. It seems vastly remodeled, but it's a historic cafe over here. One of Vienna's many grand cafes. And look at this outdoor seating area. We even have chandeliers in the outdoor seating area. Just stunning. Just stunning. Thomas says, wait until you visit Istanbul. I visited Istanbul on my own before starting Urbanist. I did enjoy it. I can't envision myself living in Istanbul. It's a bit of a hectic city. Too hectic for my tastes. But it is a beautiful city. I can't wait to cover it again. Daniel says, outdoor seating already? Yep. It's pretty clear. Look how gorgeous. Can't we really see because of the reflection? But. Owen says, is this residential? I think we are looking at residence here, mixed use. Residential and businesses on the bottom. Some of these buildings might be offices as well. But definitely mixed use. Ooh, there's a sightseeing bus. Wendy says, oh my God, I think we're close. All right, let's see what we'll be finding. So one cultural difference I'm already noticing is that's very stark from Slovakia. Slovakia, as I was filming in public, no one really looked at me. But here I'm getting similar to as the German stare. It's a little bit lighter than the German stare, but I get way more looks than I did in Slovakia or Poland. Here we have names up in the above. Calderon, Shakespeare, Moliere. I don't know what there's like so many beautiful buildings. There's beautiful buildings on there. There's this one. There's that one. There's that one over there. There's that other one. Where do I go? I go to all of them. Let's go with this one first. Isabel says, I noticed that too. More people looking at you. Yeah, way more. It was interesting because Slovakia and Poland, no one. Fascinating countries. It's rare that actually, Poland and Slovakia are more rare. What I'm encountering here is more normal. Hey, Farstorm says, I'm going to put chicken pie in the oven with chips when I finish pouring the hot gravy over my food. Hey man, enjoy. Enjoy. That's the best way to enjoy a nice Urbanist live stream. a good coffee, a good wine, a good cocktail, good food, maybe a cup of tea, maybe a Sunday roast, maybe a full Thanksgiving dinner on a non-Thanksgiving day, an entire bottle of wine for yourself. Many ways you could enjoy our Urbanist broadcast. Drink responsibly, my friends. Hey, Mislav says a good pastry, please. I am doing my best. I will find the pastry. I have no doubts. And look, some ice skating. Ice skating is transpiring here. There's some music. I'm gonna mute it for a little bit. Jay's already making speculation of where I'm going to next. Jay says the Madrid or Lisbon. Jay, I'm on a road trip. So to go to Madrid by road from Vienna would take a few days actually. Take maybe 2 or 3 days. It'd be very difficult. Brusley says I'm watching you and eating at the same time. Hey man, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. All right, let's play some music, shall we? was music from an Urbanist Christmas album. Still winter. Still applies. There was music playing here in the skating rink area, so I had to mute for a bit. But now we're going to approach a host of different beautiful buildings. Let's get to it. Hey, Nina says, all the great artists here, music, painting, sculpture, wonder what it's like at night. Seems like a great romantic city, like in Paris. So tonight I won't be able to experience Vienna at night. But yes, I can imagine it's a gorgeous experience as being here. Hey, this is like a little track. Look at this. Oh, that's interesting. They made an ice skating track. Hey, Michelle says, tuning in from Cornwall. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. You know, I cannot wait to go Cornwall. I was chatting with Evan, and he also wants to visit Cornwall. And we're contemplating on making a road trip through Cornwall. Let me know if you would like to see that at some point. Cornwall is in England. It's the most southern area. Definitely it feels like its own country in some respects. Wendy says, why not at night? Because I gotta head back. I gotta meet up with Evan and our friend in a different city. Look at these old trams. Wow. Sandra, Bob, and Debbie say, yeah, Cornwall is gorgeous. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Nina says, you'll come back. I think I will come back to Vienna. I already have the feeling there's so many stories here, so many live videos I can do, so many short videos I can do. I'm already getting good vibes. The people here are friendly. The food has so far been amazing. The streets are clean. I can see that there's a lot of things to see and do. I can't wait to take more public transportation when I come here as well. Ride these trams up and down through the entire city. Oh yeah. Almo says, whatever happened to these philosophical chats? They used to be a thing. You know, I haven't really felt like philosophizing in quite a while. Kind of ran out of things to philosophize about. I've been trying to not philosophize too much, just in my own life. So I haven't really felt like doing a chat. But there will be a sit-down chat at the end of this road trip. And a portion could be a philosophical chat towards the end. Let me know if you would like to see that. All right, here we are again amazed. And look at the walking sign. We saw a little tiny hat in Berlin, and here we see a lovely couple with a heart. Oh, how adorable. Let me know which one you prefer. The hat walking man in Berlin, or the lovely couple with the heart in Vienna. Hey, Action says, Vienna is a great imperial city trapped in a small country. That is indeed the case, yes. Eleanor says, great musical history. Oh, yes. Gotzi says, I just got off of work and now I can relax with Urbanist. Oh yeah, I hope you enjoy. Dindin prefers the couple with the heart. Firestorm says none. In NYC, the sign might be a bicyclist cursing out a cab or a bus. That's what they should do, Nina. For sure. They should be more creative in New York. Have a little bit of New York personality in these walking signs. Tamo says, Vienna was originally the capital of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, which was the largest country in Europe. Yep, it was a massive empire. Definitely for a portion of its history. And wow, who is this? Is this Athena? Looks like Athena. Or is it Minerva? Oh, waitress says, we haven't had a bench review. Wow, you know, it's been very rainy this road trip. Today is one of the second sunny day I've had. And I haven't had the opportunity to sit down on the bench that was dry. Wow. That's amazing. A beautiful building. Looks like the Parthenon. This is how the Parthenon would look like, somewhat, in Athens if it was still intact. Wow, beautiful sculptures. Oh my. Look, that's a big jug. That was a huge jug right there. Massive jug. Oh my god. This guy has a massive staff. Miss Lob says, what's in it? Most likely olive oil. I doubt it's milk. With a jug that big, well, yeah, a jug that big could hold a lot of milk. Is the fountain under that cover? Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure why would they cover it. Maybe something happened. I think this might be a governmental building, so let me go back and walking. Andrea says, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the huge jug. Right here, look at that. Look at those massive jugs. I mean, jugs. Right here, look. Right here. It's a huge jug. So let me know what's the function of this building. There's heavily armed police right in front of it. So I'm not gonna linger too much in front of it. Oh, Prusli says it's because of winter time. They don't want the pipes to freeze. Oh, thank you, Prusli. That does make sense. I've noticed a lot of the fountains to be turned off during the winter time in Poland and Slovakia, so I assume the same thing is happening here. So Anthro and Sue is telling us that this is the Parliament building. The Parliament building is just stunning. America got to step up its game. Susie says the way that guy looked at you. Yeah, I think that might have been a governmental official just lingering outside. Probably wondering while I'm filming the jug. You know, when you see a big jug, you just gotta film it, so. I'm talking about the actual pottery. Get your minds off the gutter, ladies and gentlemen. Even the side of this building is gorgeous. Here we got some governmental officials taking a break, taking a smoke break. few people are asking what's the currency used here. Austria is part of the Eurozone, meaning that they use the euro. And it is within the European Union, meaning that if you're already in Europe, you don't need a passport or to go through passport control to get in. If you're coming from another country, then yes, you probably would have to go through passport control. Way to weigh yourself. I thought that was in the Caribbean. Alright, never mind. Ooh. New York pizza here in Germany. No corn here though. Building after building after building of beauty here in Vienna. I mean, I'm speechless. I think this is why I'm not talking too much. I'm just in awe. It's like going to one of those gorgeous art museums. Not a art museum in Bratislava, not that kind of art museum. Because wow, it's stunning. Jesse says, you have a selfie stick? Yes, I have the DJI Osmo Mobile 6. Right exclamation point gear, and you'll see the link to it. And all the other gear I use. Ludo says, I think Vienna has a huge train station too. Yes, I arrived at the train station. It was fairly large. Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is just... I knew that Vienna was going to be beautiful. Part of me was... I was lowering my expectations because there's a concept called Paris syndrome, where this mostly happened with Japanese women. In Japan, they highly hype Paris. Overly romanticized. Similar to how maybe Americans may romanticize some parts of New York, but to a much higher degree. Paris is extremely romanticized in Japanese culture. And also, especially if you're traveling there, all the brochures, all the documentaries, everything related to Paris within the country of Japan, they take the romanticization and put it to 11. So when Japanese, and more specifically women, go to Paris expecting this gleaming city of marble, of clean streets, of beautiful, pristine cafes with friendly waiters, they have a nervous breakdown because they're so sorely disappointed. They can't handle the crash of reality when they get to Paris and realize it's a big city. It's not gleaming It's not super slick and clean. The waiters aren't friendly. The cafes are, some of them are a bit grungy. And they can't handle it. And this was coined many decades ago. And that happened to be similar when I first visited Paris. Of course, I did have a nervous breakdown. But Paris is also fairly romanticized in American culture. And when I arrived to Paris, it just felt like parts of New York. It was pretty dirty, especially when I went there. In recent years, it's gotten way better. And coming here to Vienna, I was very hyped, and I thought to myself, let me temper down my expectations, because maybe Vienna is more like Paris. It's a beautiful city, but it also has its grit, its grime. It has some crime. The people are not necessarily the friendliest. Let me lower my expectations for Vienna, because Vienna could be the same thing. Berlin definitely was a little bit of a wake-up call. Berlin, I expected this gleaming, huge, densely packed city, but it was rather spacious and a bit more quieter. But no, Vienna is stunning. I think it's under-romanticized. The movie Before Sunrise did not show all the beauty of Vienna. I think they even show the most beautiful parts of Vienna in this movie. And I am just blown away. So let's continue walking around. Wow. Thomas says, I felt the same way in St. Petersburg, and also in Florence. Yeah, Florence, my expectations were super high. Beautiful city, but initially I was kind of stunned how it felt like too much like a museum, so there was not much city life in Florence. So Florence, like Vienna, feels like a museum, but it was a bit too touristy in my opinion, a bit too stuck in time. But here it's kind of this combination. You have this beautiful museum of a city, but also you have life. You have cafes, you have restaurants, you have fast food shops, you have trams in and out. You have a lot of people walking around of all ages, from very young kids to the elderly. So this is underrated for sure. Highly recommend coming here, and I'll be back. Lorraine says, Vienna is amazing. I want to go back. Yeah. Now I know where you were talking about. Susie says, Neubau is the hipster area of Vienna. Ah, interesting. All right, Neubau. Oh, wow. Look at these birds. These are cousins of Gregor the Crow. We've met Gregor the Crow a few times in our travels. This is his Viennese cousin. Sigmund the Crow. Thomas says he also liked Buenos Aires and Valparaiso in Chile. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can't wait to go to Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires, I do know that has a bit more grit and grime. All right, let's sit right by Sigmund. See if Sigmund is friendly. Hey Sigmund, you want a bite? Sigmund, come over here. Don't haunt me though. I know crows have a penchant for haunting someone they don't like. I hope we're friends. All right, a backless bench review. Oh. All right. Oh, carry a heavy backpack. There's no back. Beautiful city, but backless bench. It's rather disappointing. It's a great place to like stretch. Beautiful views though. Look at that. Oh my. I love it's gorgeous park. No. Oh, there is some crow poo over here, or raven poo. Can't tell the difference between these birds. And but beautiful views, gorgeous architecture. No back. The bench is a bit plain. This bench, any other place would get a very low score. It's not uncomfortable. It's not comfortable. It just is a plank of wood in which my buttocks can lay on. But it's not much more than that. But because of the views, the rating goes a bit further up. And the views are stunning. So I would give this a very solid 6.8 out of 10. Maggie says, don't forget to try a Wiener Schnitzel. I gotta learn how to pronounce that. But yes, I think I will try a Wiener Schnitzel. Let me know, where should I try one? Any recommendations? This is a 6.8 out of 10. It gets above 6 just because of the views. Firestorm says that's all. This is a very disappointing bench. I mean, they could do better. I'm not going to be blinded by the views. You know, this city is gorgeous, but I'm not going to get blinded by the glamour of these buildings. Seduced by the architectural stunningness of what we have in front of us. I won't do that. I will maintain my integrity of these bench reviews. And this does not deserve anything higher than 6.8. Bad bench. Wendy says you gotta put that score up. Yeah, there's a dog park and one of the dogs are getting vicious. Tamo says this is the only bad part of Vienna is this bench. Yeah. So far that is the case. Food has been good, coffee has been good, buildings are amazing. The bench. Rafael says someone can't even take a nap here. No, the bench is not even long enough to take a nap. Being a very tall 5'2", I can barely lay on that bench. Jay says bad bench. Papa. Yeah, I need some baby powder. That's a bad bench. Give me that baby powder. Bad bench. Baby powder because, you know, the wood is a bit harsh and I need to soften my hands. Again, get your minds out of the gutter, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so I'm seeing building after building. There's more buildings over here. We'll check out this one in a bit. But let's enjoy this one first. Bree says, wow, the architecture is superb. Yes. Maria, nice to see you here. That bench is a historic one, says Dennis. I don't know, it didn't look too historic to me. It didn't look like the Viennese were relying too much on their gorgeous architecture and were super lazy with the bench. I mean, the city's stunning. I gotta find some faults in it because it can't be perfect. Can it? No, it can't. This city cannot be perfect. You know, in New York, I always say to look up. In parts of Italy, you usually have to look down. There's really cool stuff you can see down, markers, interesting plaques, sometimes cool graffiti. But here in Vienna, you have to look back. Wow. Mr. Dave Pizza says, looks like you're in another stunning location. I am. You know, that's the beauty of Europe. I can be in one city, and then just right next door is another gorgeous city. And then just an hour or 2 hours away is another gorgeous city. I can't experience that really that much in New York. I can't go from New York City to Newark. Could go from New York to Nassau County or to Greenwich, Connecticut. I don't know, after coming here to Vienna, I'm not sure if I can go back to New York. Nina says, I wonder if the rents are the same. I bet the rents are very high. Debbie says, I prefer Vienna over Paris. I don't blame you, Debbie. Is this still part of the city center? Yeah, we're around it. We're kind of in the outer perimeter of the historic center of the city. We're gonna go back to it soon, but right now we're looking at these grand, magnificent buildings. Marina says, New York City is still my favorite city. Oh yes, indeed, it's a gorgeous city. So a lot of these are museums. So this seems to be a great museum city. Like Paris, like New York, like London, like Rome. Don't have time for museums today, but I think I'll be back to enjoy the Imperial Shop at the Hofburg Info Center. That's nice. Diaz says, Vienna invented the croissant. They did indeed. They did indeed. I did show a croissant in my cafe video right before this one. Mr. Dave says, this is a filming location for Before Sunrise. Yeah, you know, I don't recall Before Sunrise passing by these grand buildings. I think they passed by a tram? Let me know. I remember way smaller streets in Before Sunrise. Wow. Susie, you haven't experienced New York City to Poughkeepsie. Yeah, I'm sure Poughkeepsie has stunning views. Stunning architecture, just like Vienna. Christine says, I'll be back. Like Schwarzenegger, the Austrian. Yes, probably the most famous Austrian to have ever lived. Arnold Schwarzenegger. The man who became the governor of California. The man who's the Terminator. The man who became pregnant in the movie Junior. One of the greatest actors to have ever lived. Arnold Schwarzenegger is from Austria, hence his interesting accent. AMZ says, these buildings are making me want to listen to a string quartet. Yeah, me too. Me too. This is great classical music. Inspiration right over here. Tamil says, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the second most famous. Who would be the first? Let me know. I see a big bus over there. Let me see if I can catch it on time. Hey, Nina says, hey, I'm tired of walking. I'm hungry. Can you grab a coffee and a pastry? I'll do my best, Nina. I'll do my best. I started with coffee and pastries. I need to walk it off before I have more. But if I see pastries, I will stop. I will eat them. Because I have a particular set of skills. And I'll find pastries at all costs. Thomas says Carl Jung might be the most famous Austrian. He is indeed influential and very important to human history. I wouldn't say he's extremely well known as Arnold Schwarzenegger at the moment, but he's indeed very influential.
So then I went back to the hotel.
All right, I'm gonna show you these buildings as I'm trying to make my way to the big bus and see if I can get in.
I know what you're saying. I'm not careful like that.
Hi, can I buy a ticket for one? No. For me? Outside?
Try to my colleague.
Okay.
Please.
All right. No worries. Oh, that's annoying. Sometimes the big bus people, you can buy tickets. Hey, can I buy a ticket?
How long is the year?
I'm just here today. This is my last day.
Better
Yeah.
when you buy now.
I want to buy now.
This is the last round.
Oh no. Okay.
So you will give you for not 39 euro for the half round.
What? How much?
It's 39 euro
€39 for that.
for the full round, but this is not the full round, and then it's finished. You cannot go out.
I see. I see. So you're only doing half of the route right now.
But waiting here, coming
Yeah.
the yellow buses.
Yellow
Maybe
buses.
having this for 1-2 hours, maybe.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Ooh, they end early today. Very early. Usually, like the last bus should be around like 5 to 6 p.m. in like these European cities. In a bigger city like London or New York, they're even later. And €39. That's the most expensive I've seen for a big bus tour. I am stunned. I think the most I've ever paid for a big bus tour is about €34 or $34. I forgot which city it was. I think it's New York. They're charging that much now. I was hoping that guy would let me in for free, but I think they have the the German attitude, very similar to the German attitude here. They're sticking to the rules. In in other countries, I would be admitted in for free, which has happened to me before. Nina says Christoph Waltz is from Austria. Yeah, he's an amazing actor. One of my favorite actors for sure. Jay says just grab a bike. Yes. It seems like a great bike city. I don't have right now the ability to ride a bike and film at the same time. Dia says, are people friendly here? Yes, I've been kind of friendly. This is a different culture, but definitely friendly. I noticed a bit more friendliness than Germany thus far, if I were to compare. It says Austria's culture is very close to German. Definitely way more friendly than France, or at least Paris. So yeah, very, very friendly culture so far. I've only been here half a day, but I'm enjoying it so far. Wow. So Tamo says, my experience actually is that Germans are friendlier than Austrians. You noticed when you enter Bavaria from Austria. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, Bavarians are indeed very friendly. Well, of course, to get more of a sense, one has to spend more time. Hey, Bagel with the Schmear says, good morning. Good morning, Bagel with the Schmear. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry I'm late. No worries. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, wow. Wow. Amazing. It's very warm today. Definitely, I feel like I'm a bit overdressed with this winter jacket. This feels like almost spring weather, almost. Ron says, do they call Vienna sausage the sausage? I'm not sure if there's a Vienna sausage in Vienna. But Vienna Schnitzel, Weine Schnitzel, is still called Weine Schnitzel here. Pardon the mispronunciation. Wow. Amazing. I'm in love now. I've walked very far away from the town center. What's down here? DS says, have you learned anything new on your tour? You gotta take a small water break. I made the mistake of carrying the big bag when exploring this gorgeous city, but definitely not one with a heavy bag. So DS asks, what have I learned? Going to Poland was striking. You know, I think you don't really get a sense of the destruction of World War II from Paris or London or Liverpool, or the Netherlands, where you get a real shocking sense of the devastation of World War II is in Poland. And I didn't go to Auschwitz personally. I didn't want to go. But just even being in Warsaw and Krakow, it's in your face. And it is it illuminates how terrifying World War II really was. You know, the last veterans are starting to pass away from World War II. I think in the US we have very few now. If anyone can find the number, but the number is I think it's now less than a few dozen of veterans left from World War II. So we no longer have that kind of direct connection with World War II as we used to a few decades ago. So we tend to think that World War II is this kind of foreign, distant thing, especially for Americans, since we didn't have battles within our land. So I think as an American, it feels like distant, you know, as a Puerto Rican as well. Puerto Ricans also fought in World War II, but there was nothing that came to Puerto Rico. So in a way, it feels you feel disconnected from the death and destruction. You learn about the soldiers that gave their lives, and you learn, of course, about the actual death and destruction that took place, but still feels rather foreign. And I think going to Poland, you see it face to face, and then going to Slovakia and Poland as well, you get to see face to face the Cold War, which the Cold War, I would say, did not affect American culture in the country on land. Yes, you might have been afraid, or there was fear and paranoia about nuclear weapons. There was some fear and paranoia about communist spies in the homeland of America. But you really didn't, there was not like bunkers and nuclear silos and barbed wire and huge communist style housing, where just across a few miles away you see the West, which is Bratislava to Austria. It's very physical. World War II and the Cold War here. So that has been the most mind-blowing thing. And if you're coming to Vienna, pack light. It's not a city where you want to be having too much heavy baggage. Well, let's continue walking around. Susie says, wow, 87,000 World War II veterans are still alive? That's quite a lot. I thought it was a lot few. Thank you so much, Susie. So 87,000 World War II vets are still alive in the US. So thank you for letting us know. So quite a lot still, but we're getting close to not having any because some of them are already reaching 90. So it won't be long before we have almost no veterans left from World War II. Maria says, agreed. What about all the U-boats circling Puerto Rico? Were U-boats circling Puerto Rico? I don't think they attacked. Did they circle? I don't know too much about it. Where have you found the best bottled water so far in the trip? So far, the best bottled water has been Poland for being the most unique tasting. It won't be a water that I would love to drink all the time, but Polish mineral water has a very citrusy taste to it. Almost tastes like orange. And I have no idea what minerals really give that taste. But it's fascinating. So far Poland has the most unique bottled water in my opinion. Hey! Bagel with the Schmear says, if you want to see the stores, you have to go to Garden Street. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure what that is. Firestorm says, are you sure it was water? Who knows? It might have been orange vodka. Who knows? Claire says, we will remember the sacrifices of this spot. Yeah, indeed. Wow. Volks Theater right here. Look at that. Oh, where should I go at this point? All right, maybe I should cross here. All right, I'm going to orient myself. Be right back. Hold on. Okay, so this way is Neubau, which is kind of a young, hip area, apparently. We could go there, or we can go back to the center, which we haven't fully explored yet. Let me know. Do you prefer the hip area? There might be cafes, there might be bars there, maybe more shopping. I don't think there's that many big landmarks though. Or we can go back to the town center to really see a lot of the big stuff. And we're seeing already a lot of the big stuff right now. So let me know. It seems like I'm about a 10-minute walk towards the town center again. So a lot of people are voting center. Susie in M-Wall is voting hip. Bob is voting hip. Miss Lob says is voting hip. Wendy says both. I'm not sure if I can do both. Is there a tram line that does both? Can I hop on one of these tram lines and go back to the center? And I'm not sure how if it's okay to film in these trams. Maybe it'll be okay. Let me know if I would run into an issue. All right, let's take a peek at the new area. I'm rather close. And then maybe I can take one of these trams right over here. Hermes, thank you so much for tuning in. Hello. Almo says, what time is it right now? I don't know at the moment. So right now it's 10, no. It's giving me the wrong time. I'm not sure why. All right. Big streets over here. Huge. Look at that. So it's 4:37 p.m. Thank you so much everyone for letting me know. 4:37 p.m. right now. Hey! Bagel with the schmear says, can you see some stores? You know, showing stores is a bit tough on live video. I don't know fully the culture, so I don't know how okay would someone be with me going in with the camera and filming the store. Out of all the types of establishments in just world cities around the world, usually stores are just the trickier ones to go into. Like a food place, it feels fairly easy. Cafes as well, restaurants even, museums in some cities is easy to walk in, and public transportation is the case. Like in New York or Paris, I can easily do, or a London bus. But stores I've always felt very uncomfortable in, usually, until I really get to know the culture. So I don't know the culture yet too much, and I don't know if it's okay to walk into a store. I'll show it to you from the outside. Going past a few stores. Thomas says, I don't think they like it. Austrians are about privacy like Germans. Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm a bit more timid about going to a shop or even using public transit on live video. Yeah, these countries, Germany, Austria, a few countries in the middle of Europe are a little bit more concerned about their privacy. LA says, actually hit those malls a lot. Malls are easier, yeah. You know, a typical American mall, that's much more easier to show. Wow. Oh, Bagel says I want to see the area with all the shops. Yes. We'll get there.
Alright, so tell me.
21 euro for a Wiener Schnitzel. Wow. It's LAB says it looks like a livable area. Don't you love how clean the streets are? I am impressed. Here it's a bit more grittier, but just a bit than the town center. Oh, wow, the city center. I mean, it is stunning, stunning architecture. Dennis says 21 is expensive in Vienna, but the quality is much higher in Innere Stadt. Is that the restaurant we just passed? Is it well known? Wow. Amazing. Wendy says, are you in Hungary? No, no, this is Austria. Austria. Wendy. Oh, Wendy says, are you hungry? No, no, not right at the moment. I'm Austrian. Ooh, famous pizzeria. Once we've been waiting. Place called Pizza and Cream. Oh. Definitely more graffiti in this area. Now we're outside of the city center and seeing a little bit more of a normal European vibe. And I still love it. Oh, look at this place. It's called Ginsberg. Wow. Almost says this must be an up and coming neighborhood. Look at the vibe. It's a bit younger, yeah. Hey, it's ringing. Ooh. Ooh. I love how this is more dense also than Berlin. Berlin, lovely city, but it's all a little bit more spacious. And I love when streets are a bit smaller, so it feels more cozy. It feels like more life is in the street. Hey, Mena says, are they formal in Vienna? Yeah, people here are dressing well. I feel slightly underdressed, actually. You know, wearing like a jean shirt in the cafe earlier, I felt a little bit underdressed. So I get the vibe that people are dressed pretty well here. Thomas says, Berlin used to be just as dense, but was destroyed during World War II. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, beautiful. All right, I'm gonna walk. Okay, so I'm gonna go down one of these avenues and backtrack to the main city center. This area is gorgeous and I love it. I definitely could do more exploring here. It seems like I got some great food shops and bars and cafe shops as well, coffee shops. Like this one, Cafe Comet. I'm digging the vibes. Now I want to see a little bit more of the city center. Hey, Bagel says I could try Austrian goulash. Yeah, I think goulash would be awesome, but I think I'm gonna try the schnitzel. Wendy says, buy us all a cocktail. Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, beautiful hotel. Look at that. Oh my god, this is where I'm staying next time. Maria says it has a cool young vibe. It really does, yeah. It really does. Susie says beauty lies within. It really does. Beauty lies without too. Beauty sometimes just a lie in general. Try their Austrian dumplings. Ooh, bagel, you know I had the best fruit dumplings in the world in Slovakia, in Banská Bystrica, and I want to have more. Hey, Alvaro says try the schnitzel at Cafe Landman. Is it good? Do let me know. Do you recommend Cafe Landman? Because that sounds tempting. And let me know if you have any recommendations, anyone else, of what to see as we're en route back to the city center. People were saying graffiti. Miss Lob says graffiti. Yeah, there's more graffiti. I love how there's outdoor seating here in Vienna. Way more than any of the other Eastern European countries. Central European countries I've been to. Poland, Slovakia. Slovakia barely had any outdoor seating in general. Poland had less. But here there's way more. And it's nice. Veganista. Oh. Vegan ice cream. Look at that. Wow. Hey, Andrea says it seems like the streets run forever. Yeah, there's not that many curves. It's pretty gridded. You know, in cities like this, you get a similar vibe to a museum where you're walking, you see beauty and more beautiful buildings and more interesting streets, and you kind of get a little bit exhausted. Like a museum, you see a lot of beautiful artwork and more beautiful paintings, and then you're kind of just tired out. That's how I'm feeling right now. It's magnificent, but I'm not sure if I can handle any more beautiful buildings. I need to sit down. Let me know if you ever felt the same. Wow, look at this cool record shop. Susie says overstimulation. Yeah. There's the official name in the museum is just called Museum Exhaustion, just in general. Wow, old CD of Buena Vista Social Club, one of the best albums ever made. Wendy says, let's have a nap. Yeah, nap time is coming soon. We had a pretty late night last night, as you can see with my live stream. And I didn't get that much sleep either. Bagel says, I think we're personally missing out in New York City with many of the European gastronomic culture. We are, yeah. Lorraine says, sit down. Indeed, yeah, it's time to sit down. Ludo says, it was €6 for a CD. It is a €6 for a CD, yeah, it's not that expensive. And it's a classic CD as well. Susie. LOL. Wow. He says, relax and have an ice cream. Oh, yeah.
Då brukar du få.
Eleanor says, this is when everyone stops for coffee and a pastry. Oh, yeah. Just haven't seen like a big cafe yet. Or like a cafe with pastries. The cafes we passed seem to be pretty much closing. Beagle says, I am overwhelmed with so much magnificence also. Yeah, it is, yeah. It's stunning. Almo, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, says bye. I'm off to scrub the streets of London. Oh, you are? Oh, wow. Thomas says the big cafes are more in the inner city. Yes. We just got really off track. Sonoli says, am I surprised by the graffiti? No, not really. No, I'm not. Fairly normal to see graffiti in many parts of Europe. I was actually surprised how the city center is extremely clean. Quite the opposite. Now we're getting close again. Right here. Sue says, are you lost? No, it's just this is direct, but it's a long walking distances. So these streets are very, very long, and the city's huge. So right now I'm about 20-minute walk away from the city center. And that's why it seems like we're walking and walking and walking. I see trams once again. Hey, Beagle says, are these neoclassical buildings? Yes, a lot of these are neoclassical buildings. The Austrians have their own twist on neoclassical. I forgot the name. There's a type of architecture that we saw in the cafe that was called historicism, which is more classical influences than just basically Greek and Roman. And then I'm not sure, like this one, I think is the Austrian version of neoclassical. Maybe it's historicism. If anyone does know the name of it, let me know in the comments. Lou says, let's hop on the tram. Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. I think we went on a huge circle. I think we're about to get back to St. Stephen's Cathedral soon. Ludo says, I'm now in Museum Strut. Yes, I am. Thank you, Ludo. Vienna has nice cafes and pastries, says Tony. It does indeed. We're not seeing too many of them yet because we're in kind of more of the museum area. All right, let's see if we can catch one of these trams. Beagle says, I have major respect for a lot of the large cities in Europe for retaining their beautiful buildings and not breaking them down for modern structures like we do in New York City. Yeah, you know, in New York City, it's just a travesty. We recently lost one of the major hotels near Herald Square, which is a big shame. They were going to build this huge skyscraper in its place, but they decided to cancel said skyscraper, which is a travesty. So New York lost one of its most iconic hotels. Says, did I buy a ticket? Yes, I did. I bought a 24-hour pass. It cost me about €9. So we just took the D tram, and that was a very smooth ride. You saw how quiet it was, how easy it was to hop on and hop off. And now we're just right by the town center. So let's finish off by going back into the middle of the city. I keep saying town center, it's out of habit. But we're gonna go back into the middle of the city, enjoy a few more sights. We're gonna walk around for about 15 more minutes. And let me know if you have any questions about travel, about exploration, about what I've done so far. And I'm happy to answer anything I could do. So let's go back over here. It's a wonderful walk. I already really recommend beautiful Vienna. It's stunning. Bring your good walking shoes if you go to that museum area, because this is in that area get rather long, but here the city is a bit more dense. And Navarro State Opera House, yeah, it's stunning. Wow, the word I keep using over and over. Look at the immense detail, the beautiful artwork and reliefs. Wendy says, I want to see it lit up. Yeah, me too. Wow. I think just like European cities had classical revival or neoclassical, because, you know, after medieval era, you know, construction was a bit boring. The medieval era, I said, medieval can be charming, but it was more functional. Medieval times to protect, to live protected from disease and from war and raids. So medieval architecture had a bit more functionality than beauty. And then we return to beauty because before medieval era, way back before the Dark Ages, was the classical era of ancient Rome and ancient Greece and many other ancient societies, the Eastern Roman Empire as well. And you had beauty back then, and then went to functionality, and then we went back to beauty in the 1600s, 1700s, 1400s, so, mostly starting in the late 1500s to about the 1900s. And then we went back to functionality. I think we went back to functionality because we entered again war and devastation and paranoia, and hence the world wasn't really too fond of building too grandiose architecture. More functionality, more business, more capitalism. In the Soviet Union, more functionality, more sameness. But now I think if things get better in the greater scope of humanity, and we have yet another golden age, hopefully within our lifetimes, crossing fingers, we will see a revival of what truly is great, beautiful architecture. Things that inspire, that stir creativity, that filled you up with joy by seeing, by standing in front of them, by walking through them. Something that modernism in some ways is beautiful, but not in general. Modernism tends to feel too functional when you see the greater scope of brutalism and modernism and many of the things that stem from it. But hopefully we will return to the glory days soon, and we'll have artisans and stone workers. And maybe with the use of AI, they'll be able to do this faster. Everything that we see here, maybe they can do it way faster, way more efficiently, and maybe even more elaborately. Here's one of the more famous restaurants, cafes. Share. I don't know too much about this cafe. Great prices. I mean, compared to New York, you're paying pretty good prices. Coffee is going to be expensive, but you're paying for the location. And they're famous for their chocolate cake. And here we're at the main thoroughfare. I'm happy to see this again. And pardon my German. I know, I'm not too aware of how to pronounce everything in German or, I mean, Austrian. But when I come back, I hope to learn a little bit more Austrian. Hey, Matt says you can spend at least 3 days in Vienna without feeling rushed. Yeah, I think 3 days. I think it's easy to spend even more here in Vienna. It's so stunning. So much museums, a lot of great food from what it seems. I think you could truly enjoy Vienna for a good week. And then of course Bratislava is a great day trip idea. Just right next door, an hour away, by train or by bus. Both very efficient and both pass on an hourly basis. Bagel says, would you live in Europe for 6 months and 6 months in New York? Yes, I would if I had the visa. American citizens in most parts of Europe can only stay for 3 months, with the exception of Ireland, and I think maybe Denmark. For sure, Ireland, you can stay for 6 months. UK, I could stay for 6 months, but I can't stay for 6 months in most of the EU. It's 3 months maximum. And yeah, I would do that. The cities I would stay in: Paris, Rome, Edinburgh. I really loved Athens as well. Those are probably the top 4 cities at the moment. London, but London is going through tough times, just like New York. So London is not as kind of glamorous as what it was to me just a few years ago. Wow. I'm in love. This is a great, great city. MZ says, have you seen anyone you'd like to marry in your 2-week road trip? No, I have not. Not enough time. I'm not sure. Before sunrise makes a very, very romantic view of meeting someone on the train and really connecting with them that quickly. I'm not sure if that happens in real life that often. Let me know if anyone has experienced that. A random rendezvous in a strange foreign city away from home, and you have an instant chemistry. This all says, I love pedestrian malls. Me too. They're just gorgeous. It's very nice, this one. Because you have this beautiful architecture, huge stores. The street itself is very wide. There's no cars passing through. Hey, Bagel says, as I commented on one of your videos, you are living the best life. Oh man, thank you so much. I'm very deeply grateful for what I do. And I'm so happy that I can share these trips. You know, I love traveling for the reason of sharing. I love traveling for the reason of sharing these trips on live video and short videos and documentaries. So it's an immense pleasure to be able to go live and show you around the world. All right, I think this is a great place to finish off right by this gorgeous fountain. I could definitely walk for much longer here in Vienna. However, time is limited, but that's okay. You know, if you do have the capacity to travel and go on a road trip like I'm doing, I would highly recommend it. Be sure to temper your expectations. You're not going to see every city fully. You're going to miss some sights. You're gonna want to stay in certain places, but that's okay because you can always come back. If you don't travel so often and you can't travel so often, then I would not recommend going on the road trip that I'm doing. road trips like this is really for someone who can always come back to the city and you can see a bunch of cities all at once. But if you don't travel so often, I would recommend maybe not doing that many cities in a road trip. I would recommend maybe sticking to 2 or 3 cities, and especially cities that have a lot of cool day trips nearby. So if you do yearn for something a bit different from, say, Vienna, you can all go to Bratislava, you can go to Prague, you could go to Budapest, which are fairly close, or you could go to nearby places in Austria. And that's why I would recommend, if you are someone who can travel for a long time, the way I prefer the most is slow travel. So sticking to a place for a very long time, 2 weeks. I would spend 2 weeks here in Vienna alone, because I'm sure I can do way more videos here and find way more cool stuff and enjoy the cafes and sit down and relax, meet some cool people.